الذين ينضموا للاستماع إلى راديو بلدي أول راديو عربي أمريكي ويعنى بقضايا العرب في المهجر. برامجنا في راديو بلدي كل يوم جمعة من 8 وحتى 9 صباحا مع ليلى الحسيني في بث حي ومباشر عبر WNZK راديو 690 AM. صباح الخير بلدي، صباح الخير لكل مستمعينا.
Welcome to Radio Baladi, the first Arab, Middle Eastern, and American simulcast radio show. Radio Baladi is broadcast every Friday morning on WNZK 690 AM from 8 until 9 Eastern Time on Good Morning Michigan with Layla Al-Husseini. Our call-in number 248-557-3300. And now, stay tuned for the best radio talk show on Arab and American issues with your host, Layla Al-Husseini.
Today's program is brought to you by Sling TV.
My favorite TV channel has been removed. I was ripped off.
Don't be fooled by unauthorized TV services. You could not only lose your favorite TV channels, but also lose your money. Keep your eyes out and avoid offers that just seem too good to be true. There are numerous companies and TV services that are selling a set-top box or providing a website who claims to have rights to distribute NBC, Al Jazeera, Art, and many other Arabic TV channels.
Then who is legally authorized to provide my favorite TV channels in the U.S.?
Dish Network and Sling International provide your favorite TV channels and programs. For more information, go to www.dishnetwork.com/Arabic or www.sling.com/Arabic and sign up today and watch your favorite TV programs and save money.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Ray Hanania, and this is the Arab Daily News radio show. It's September 11th, 2015, 8:02 in the morning in Detroit and 11:02 in Chicago, where I'm broadcasting from. We're broadcasting live on Radio Bellady and on Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network and on AM 690 AM radio and live in Washington, D.C. on 700 AM radio. We invite you to call us in to join the discussion, share your views. Our website is thearabdailynews.com, thearabdailynews.com. I was amazed this past week. Thearabdailynews.com has received an average of 50,000 page views every day, thanks to all our bloggers and writers writing about every topic. And a lot of those topics are the topics we're going to be talking about today. We're going to open the phone lines to talk about many topics this morning. Of course, today's the 14th anniversary of September 11th. And I think the issue for us is this. We will never forget September 11th, but will we ever learn? That's the topic. We'll never forget September 11th, but will we ever learn? I don't know. What is the world doing to help Syrian refugees? That picture of that little baby, it is iconic. Another one from the Middle East. We see images of children being killed in these conflicts, from the Islamic State to the Jewish state. The pictures of children in Israel being killed by Israeli soldiers, and now the pictures of Syrian babies washing up on shores in Turkey. Ironically, and then not surprisingly, I guess it's not ironic, it's just what we would expect. Israel is the only country that says it won't help the Syrian refugees find temporary respite from the suffering and the conflict. It's really kind of pathetic, but that's what we've come to expect. It's not Israelis. Many American Jews that I know support helping the Syrians, and are human and very, they have this empathy for the suffering. And while they may have their own politics, but it's the Israeli government, that is really kind of sick. This Benjamin Netanyahu, he's sick. So we're going to talk about that too. And then also, come on, people. Crazy haters cheered and blocking the mosque in Sterling Heights. You know what? I looked at that topic so closely. I've done the due diligence. This is baloney. It has nothing to do with parking and shopping. That's one of the busiest areas now. It's already busy. You don't want a mosque because you hate Muslims. Be honest. And you know what? They are honest. The Chaldean Christians in Sterling Heights, it's not all of them, okay? It's not all Chaldeans, but it's a lot of Chaldeans. And they were in the audience. You could see it. And all the TV reports cheering when the Sterling Heights Planning Commission voted unanimously because they're cowards. They're worried about the election. And just to see that hate, Arab on Arab hate. But now I know the Chaldeans, they say, well, we're not Arab. Come on. You guys live in the Arab world. You live by Arab culture. You speak Arabic. Americans think you're Arab. You may not think you're Arab, but, the average American, just this week, yesterday, a man who looked Arab, didn't even look as Arab as you do or I do, was beaten because of some white dude in America who wanted to avenge September 11th. That was just in the Chicago area in Darien. They beat this guy. He was just driving to go grab milk from a local store when a car pulled up next to him, started yelling, Osama, hey, Osama, which is a typical Arab Muslim name and a Chaldean name, if I might point out. And I know some Chaldeans named Osama, so don't tell me it isn't. So this white dude's yelling, Osama, Osama, as the guy's driving. The guy cuts him off, pulls him over, and then starts punching the guy in the face. And you know what? It turns out he's not Muslim, he's not Arab, he's not Chaldean. He was Sikh. He was wearing a turban. And in the little tiny minds of many Americans, the most educated people in the world, but the least educated about the world, he was a Muslim Arab. And that could be you. And to see the Chaldeans cheer like that, it's really disgusting. I'll be honest with you. It really was terribly disgusting to see that. You want to oppose the mosque, you don't have to be like that. You don't have to associate yourself with those racist haters who hate Muslims. You don't have to do that. Now, I know there are problems between Muslims and the Christian Arab community. I'm Christian. I know what it's like. We're being brutalized from every side. The Israelis are beating us up. The Arab dictators are beating us up. And now the Islamic State Caliphate terrorists, extremists are beating us up. Saddam Hussein beat us up. Saddam Hussein also protected a lot of Chaldean Christians, even though he was crazy. The ones who fled were the ones he picked on, but the majority of Chaldeans stayed in Iraq under his protection because he used you against the Shiites and the Sunnis. And I'll tell you what, that's how the dictators do it. They divide and conquer. And then we live in this country physically, but mentally we're still back home. Let's be honest. And that doesn't depress you. We're going to talk about that too. And then finally, if we want, depending on how much time we have, we only got an hour show today here on September 11th. We're going to talk about the FX series Tyrant. Talk about a hateful TV series, of course, produced by an Israeli, Howard Gordon. Sick, sick, sick. The image of the Arab, and I'm going to tell you what, the image that Howard Gordon, the Israeli, portrayed of Arabs wasn't just of Muslims, because Americans don't look and say, oh, that Jamal al-Fayed is a Muslim. No, they look at Jamal al-Fayed and say, he's an Arab. He's a Christian Arab. He's a Chaldean. He's a Muslim. And this guy murdered his mother, tried to kill his brother, raped his, son's wife on the wedding night, and that's supposed to be a typical Arab leader. I don't know. We live in this country. It makes me sick. Here on September 11th, the racism is and continues to be the worst I have heard. Our number, if you want to call in, is 248-557-3300, 248-557-3300. Just tell Adam what topic you want to talk about. Syrian babies, the anniversary of September 11th. You name it, we can do it. How do you feel about September 11th? Have Americans really learned anything? Have we learned anything? Or is this just one of those empty holidays, we used to cover up the fact that we lied and we invaded Iraq, not because of weapons of mass destruction, but because we set up Saddam Hussein. America did. We worked with Saddam Hussein for 10 years. We gave him the weapons. He oppresses people. The United States supported it. We needed him to fight Iran. We had destroyed Iran. Our country destroyed Iran. We destroyed democracy in Iran, put the Shah of Iran in place, Reza Pahlavi, and he proceeded to butcher millions of Iranians, as the way dictators do in the Middle East region. Iran isn't Arab, but it's a Muslim country. And in response, the people threw out the Shah, and they hate America. And Americans are going, why do the Iranians hate us? I don't understand. Yeah, you don't understand anything, because I'll tell you what, you're the most educated people in the world, America, but you're the least educated about the world. You're listening to the Arab Daily News radio show. The ArabDailyNews.com is our website. It's September 11th. Our number here is 248-557-3300. I think what we'll do is we'll take our first break right now, and when we come back, if you want to call in, we can talk about any of those topics you want to talk about. Today, September 11th, we can talk about the Syrian refugees and who's doing what. I think the Arab world is doing a lot. The Muslim world is doing a lot. The Arab world, the United States, the Christian world is doing a lot. But Israel says they're not going to do anything. Instead, they're going to build a wall along the border with Jordan, their peace buddy. You know, Jordan stupidly signed a peace accord with Israel the way the Egyptians did. All it did was ended their claims on the holy city of Jerusalem and any of the lands. But Netanyahu says he's going to build a wall to keep the Syrians out of Israel. He's not going to build it on the Syrian border. He's going to build it along the Jordanian border. Are you telling me this guy isn't conniving and he's just not using and exploiting the suffering of the Syrian civilians so that he can get away with more war crimes? Terrible guy, war criminal. So September 11th, Syrian refugees, the mosque in Sterling Heights, and the crazy haters that live in Sterling Heights. I'm ashamed of the way the community came out. And the FX series Tyrant, the way we portrayed, we're beating up on each other, and the world is beating up on us. Very sick. I'm Ray Hanania. This is the Arab Daily News radio show. Remember our website, thearabdailynews.com. Our phone number, 248-557-3300. If you want to talk about any of those four topics, give us a buzz. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take those phone calls right after these messages.
Are you going to start a restaurant or grocery store soon? Do you need floor plans and designs? Call Najee Abood at 734-744-9796. Do you want to buy kitchen and restaurant equipment at discount prices? Call Najee Abood now. 734-744-9796. New Concept Products and Design, the trademark of kitchen equipment. 5% discount on all purchases of $75,000 or more. New Concept Products and Design. New location, 31185 Schoolcraft in Livonia. Learn more at www.newconceptproducts.com. Call Najee Abood, 734-744-9796.
From their first words to first grade, Dreamy Children's Center will help get your child on the right track. The highly qualified staff works closely with parents to provide an experience that goes beyond early education. We can help nurture important personality traits with the use of educational programs ranging from preschooling for infants to Montessori-approved programs and bilingual curriculums for young children. All meals can be provided, and we can arrange for after-school pickup. Dreamy Children's Center in Dearborn Heights on Warren, in Westland on Ann Arbor Trail, and in Troy on DeQuinder.
أسواق زمزم الواقع على 24065 أورشد ليك في مدينة فارمington هاوس ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. تنزيلات كبيرة على عموم المواد الغذائية في يوم الأربعاء من كل أسبوع. لا تنسوا فريش كاري أوت، جميع أنواع المعجنات، وأيضا صواني الكمبو المشكلة والصمون الحار، لحوم حلال الجالية العربية والإسلامية، الملحمة بإدارة قصاب الجالية المعروف سلوان جربوع. زوروهم على 24065 أورشاد ليك في مدينة فارمington هيلز، أو اتصلوا بهم على 248-476-0300. أسواق زمزم للمذاق عنوان لجميع طلباتكم، اتصلوا على 248-476-0300. أسواق زمزم للمعاملة الراقية وكرم الضيافة عنوان.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News Radio Show. Let's go to the phone lines at 248-557-3300. Jerry, you're on the air. You want to talk about September 11th, 14 years now. And have we learned anything?
Good morning, Ray.
Hey, how are you? A lot of topics, huh?
Ray, a lot of topics, and you make me lost which topics I choose.
I know. And listen, Jerry, you're a long talker, so you got to keep it focused if you're going to talk on all four. But your views are important, so go ahead. Tell me what you think.
You bet you, Ray. I learned from you, Ray.
Go ahead.
All right. Before anything, I just want to touch a little bit the topic of the mosque before I talk about September 11th, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
What I try to say, thank you, first of all, Ray, for taking my call. And thanks to the producer, Adam. We appreciate it. And thanks to Layla Al-Husseini. Without her, we wouldn't have this show. Ray, I just want to say, as the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, she said, yesterday was a history. Tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a beautiful gift.
Yep.
Mr. Ray Hanani, I want to say what happened yesterday in Sterling Heights, it's over. It was yesterday. And let's turn a new page, and let's forget about all those different things. And whatever you see in the video, in a picture of the video of certain Chaldean, if they were, doing certain things that it didn't show the right picture, it does not represent the majority of the Chaldean people. It was just a picture, part of a few Chaldean. And in the meantime, I will say, Ray, the freedom of speech, of express your feeling is up to them.
Yep.
Let's respect the law, and the law is above everything. And the vote was by the Planning Commission over there. So let's move on, and let's respect the law. And for any person, Jewish or Christian or Muslim or Buzi, Mandai, even the people who they don't believe in God, everybody has the right to build a place to worship. Thank you, and it's over with, Ray.
All right, but let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir, Ray.
Would you be honest and say that the opposition, and I know the white people there hate Arabs. They hate Arabs, they hate Chaldeans, they hate Muslims. They can't tell the difference. They attacked a Sikh guy yesterday because it's September 11th. They don't know anything. I think Americans are the most uneducated people in the world. But let me ask you, you're Chaldean. It's about hate, right, and anger with the Muslim community. It's not about traffic, because that's one of the most busiest streets I've seen. You look at all the industry, the car dealerships. It's about anger, right, and hate from the Chaldeans. Isn't that true, do you think?
Ray, I'll be very honest with you.
What you think? I'm asking your opinion.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. The timing of building the mosque came at the wrong time, at the wrong place. The wrong time means what happened in the Middle East, what happened by ISIS against the minority. This is a backfire of what's happening in Michigan or in the USA at all. We are all targeted. And at the wrong place, what I try to say, Ray, like Osama last week, he said, Ray, there is a 3-4 mosque already built on Orion Road.
Right.
We do have a lot of mosques. So, if we need
but they got a lot of churches, don't they? Come on, if this were a Catholic church,
right? Churches,
do you really believe they would have blocked it if it were a Catholic church? Really? Come on, Jerry, I love you. Because I know you're honest. Tell me the truth.
That's why I try to be honest with you.
The biggest Christian church in Michigan would have built in that spot, and nobody would said a word.
Everybody has the right, like you said,
Ray,
to build anything they want. Anything they want. But like I say, Ray, You're my brother, I'm your brother, and the listeners in Jirbo is my brother. It is telling us that we are all one family, and let's turn the page, and we live together as one family. And thank you.
And a quick comment from you about September 11th.
Yes.
Have we learned anything in this country? Have we learned anything?
Yes, I believe September 11th, first of all, Ray, I want to say God bless the soul of every individual person who gave his life, over 3,000 people. Among them, there were the firefighters, a policeman, everything. God bless their soul. Matter of fact, my brother Joseph, he died September 11th. So when September 11th come, always I remember my older brother Joseph. So God bless their soul, all of them. Ray, as a Chaldean, Arab, Middle Eastern, proud to be an American, we have to put from September 11 as a wake-up call for all of us to work together to present ourselves to the American people that the 19 terrorists who they did what they did in the Trade Center in New York, they do not represent all the Arab people or all the Muslim people or all the Middle Eastern people. It was an individual who they act that terror act. But from that ray, we should, through our media, Ray Hanania or Layla or all the other Khalil Hashim and all the other Chaldean people on their local station, to present the right picture about us.
Yeah.
We are not the people who you saw them on on September 11, 2001. We are people come to this country to share the American people, to continue to build the civilization of the great United States of America. We came from a region, it was the pioneer of civilization. The first law, you remember, King Hammurabi of Babylon, and then Nebuchadnezzar, and then in Egypt. We sent civilization to all over the world.
We did, and I think we've lost you, Jerry. I got to let you go because you're really going long, but like I said, I respect your view.
I want to thank you, and God bless you. I bless your show, and God bless America, and God bless the soul of everybody lost his life on that 2001. Thank you very much, Ray.
Thanks, Jerry. Our number is 248-557-3300 here on AM 690 Radio in Detroit and AM 700 Radio in Washington, D.C. You can listen to us online if you go to the website, thearabdailynews.com. We got a link to the website so you can listen to WNZK 690 online, and you can hear this show any place in the world. We do have some listeners in the Middle East. I know one of them, they text me and they email me, and you can find our Facebook page and connect with us that way. And a couple of people listening in Palestine are saying that they're upset because Israel is, instead of helping the Syrian refugees, they are using it for their own benefit to build a wall against Jordan. And Jordan, the Jordanians have really kind of fallen over, and they're surrendering to Israel. You know, that the Jordanians used to be considered the toughest, the military under Glub Pasha. I remember as a young Palestinian that I was so proud of the Jordanians, the way they stood up to the Israelis. And today they're the biggest wusses. Whatever Israel wants, King Abdullah II does, Jordan does. It's kind of a shame, to see the Arabs turn into slippers. In Jordan and in Egypt, they become tyrants. But really, in the meantime, we got real people who are suffering in Syria. Every country has stepped up to the plate. Turkey has taken in, I don't know how many. I got the list here. Turkey has taken in, 2 million refugees. Lebanon has taken 1.2 million refugees. Iraq has taken in 250,000 refugees. And Egypt, which is pretty far away, has taken in 135,000 refugees. Europe is considering doing that too. Jordan has set up 2 camps, and they've taken in 630,000 refugees. But I don't know. I think the Israelis, they said we're not taking in any, which just shows what kind of government the Israeli government is. It's not the people. I don't blame the people. This is Rosh Hashanah, and I wish the Jewish people Happy New Year. And I think the Muslim Eid is coming up in 8 days or so. So we wish the Jewish people Happy Rosh Hashanah, Happy New Year. But the government is terrible in Israel. The government is horrible in Israel. The government does terrible things, and Jewish people need to stand up and speak out against what Israel's government is doing, and they don't. And that's because they look around and they say, wow, what a crazy world the Middle East is. Look at the way the Christians and the Muslims go after each other. They fight in Sterling Heights. You can't build a mosque there because the Christian community, the Chaldeans, who are not Arab, who don't want to be Arab, they're like Assyrians. You know, I wrote a book called Arabs of Chicagoland in 2005, and Assyrians were upset that I even hinted. But I was real clear. I said they're not Arab, but in some places I pointed out how Assyrians and activists like myself work together. Some of them were upset at the suggestion that they were Arab, and they're not Arab. And I know that they're not Arab. Chaldeans are not Arab, but they speak Arabic. They live the Arab culture. And honestly, that hate that we saw was unbecoming of the Chaldean community in Sterling Heights. And we all know that the real reason is hate and anger and discrimination. And to see the Chaldean community kind of saddle up and partner with, you know, the mainstream racist America against the Muslim community is really disheartening, and it's sad. It makes me sad. The real issues between Christians and Muslims that we should be talking about, God knows that there are a lot of Muslims that don't want us to talk about it. I know that. There are a lot of extremists in the Muslim community, but to see extremism in the Christian Arab community and Christian Middle Eastern community, the non-Arabs, because listen, you Chaldeans may think you're not Arab, but the average guy on the street in America looks at you and says, you know what? You're worse than Arab because you're a Christian who lives with them, and they discriminate against you worse than they discriminate against everybody else. So to side with that type of anger is really kind of disappointing. 248-557-3300 is our number here at the Arab Daily News radio show. Radio Baladi, Layla Al-Husseini's U.S. Arab Radio Network. She has a huge network, by the way, the whole week, Monday through Friday. And I hope you do listen to her show because she has a great show, 1 hour every morning. Many other great Arab shows on this station in the afternoon. The Kuladas, nice people. I know them. They're great. And I know they do a show in the afternoon. We need to support all of them. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian or Muslim. We need to support each other. And really, but it's so discouraging to bring people together when you see that hatred out in Sterling Heights, which is now called, by the way, and I'll be the first one to say it, so you can use it, you can take my idea, because they did the same thing out here. Every time they want to build a mosque in the Chicagoland area, it's the Americans who come out screaming and yelling. It's just disappointing to see in Sterling Heights Christians from the Middle East stand up and deny Muslims the right to worship in their own house of prayer and build a mosque. I don't know how many Christian churches they have in Sterling Heights. They got a lot. You can see them online using Google Earth. You can't hide things anymore. In today's world, you can see everything. But the new name for Sterling Heights, Sterling Hates. Yeah, that's what we should call it. Sterling Hates, H-A-T-E-S. I'm Ray Hanania. Our number, 248-557-3300. We'll come back and talk about Sterling Hates, September 11th, Syrian refugees, and the FX series Tyrant right after this message. And then we're going to go and talk about, we'll take phone calls from our listeners who are lining up and packing lines. So let's take a quick call right here at the Arab Daily News radio show, 248-557-3300. I'm Ray Hanania. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Waintree Manor. صالات جميلة لمناسباتكم السعيدة. ترحب بالجالية العربية والكلدانية أجمل القاعات لمناسباتكم السعيدة من حفلات ومؤتمرات. تتسع القاعات لأكثر من 1000 شخص. خدمة راقية، أسعار مناسبة. تذوقوا ألذ الأطعمة الشرقية والغربية وبأسعار خاصة ومناسبة لجميع المناسبات. تقع القاعة على 35100 فان بون رود في مدينة وين. للحجز اتصلوا بهم على 734-728-3020 734-728-3020. وين تري مانر للضيافة عنوان.
Life for Relief and Development is a non-profit charity that has been providing humanitarian aid and development to people and communities regardless of race, color, religion, or cultural background for over 22 years. When disaster occurs here or around the world, Life rushes to provide food, medical aid, and shelter to those in need. Life also has development projects to provide medical relief, water purification, educational programs, relief for orphans, and much more. Your help and support can greatly improve these efforts. All donations are tax deductible. For more information, please visit our website at lifeusa.org or call 248-424-7493. That's lifeusa.org, 248-424-7493.
استوديو زرياب بإدارة حسن حامد في ستيرلينغ هايتس يحييكم ويقدم لكم خدماته بالصوت والصورة. تسجيل، تصوير، مونتاج، فيديو كليب، اعلانات، كوميرشالز، دوكيومنتري، افلام وثائقية للترويج لبضائعكم ومحلاتكم وشركاتكم. برامج تلفزيونية وإذاعية. استوديو زرياب وبتقنية عالية بإدارة حسن حامد 313-945-8860 313-945-8860 أو 248-761-5787. استوديو زرياب، الصوت والصورة اختصاصنا.
And, of course, thank all our sponsors. This is Hanania here at the Arab Daily News radio show, broadcasting live in Detroit on 690 AM every second Friday of the month, and with special shows. I was on last Friday filling in for somebody. And also in Washington, D.C. on 700 AM radio. Our number 248-557-3300. We're talking about September 11th, Syrian refugees. The Sterling Heights. That's the new name. Sorry, folks. That's what they call the city. Sterling Heights, not Sterling Heights. And the FX series Tyrant. Let's go right to the phone lines and talk with a caller about Syria who wants to talk about, and any topic you want here on September 11th. Go ahead, caller. What's your first name?
Danny.
Hey, Danny. How you doing? Thank you for calling.
I'm doing good. Just for the record, you have mentioned how Lebanon and other countries in Turkey and the number. You forgot to mention about Europe. You mentioned Europe, but you did not mention that Europe is going to take over 1 million.
No. Listen, I think I did mention it, and I didn't mean to leave them out. You're absolutely right. I said the white community, in Europe, is taking in refugees also, but only one country has said no. And they're going to build a wall along Jordan's border to keep the Syrians out. Does that make sense?
No, but sure. We're going after Israel, but how come we're not going after all the Gulf country? We're not going after Saudi Arabia, and we're not going after Iran.
Because but I'll tell you what, Saudi Arabia has donated over $10 million to help the Syrians.
$10 million is nothing. Saudi Arabia has at least $300 billion.
Yes, you're right. You're right. They could do more. I think you have a good point, and I think you're right. All those Gulf states need to do more. They are giving money, but they need to give more. But when we're talking about refugees, the money does take a little while to get to them, and they do need it. What do we do with the refugees? They're millions. They're going to be 11 million refugees. How do we help them? What do we do?
But why we want all the refugees to go all the way to Europe through all these seas and stuff, and they're in Saudi Arabia that they have the biggest desert. They can build something for them there.
Maybe that's a good point. Maybe they should, but that's
aren't they Arab? Aren't they Muslim? And
yes,
how about Iran?
They should be.
The entire conflict because Sunni and Shia, isn't that the entire thing is happening now in the Middle East because Sunni wants to become a power or Shia wants to become a power? Isn't that the truth?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the Gulf states need to step up and do more. Absolutely. But when you at least do something, yes, the criticism is they're not doing enough. That's a long way from Israel saying, we're not going to do anything. And do you think they have any responsibility, or is that just politics? What do you think? Israel, am I just kind of going off on the ledge with that?
I mean, first thing, there is the hate. Second, I think that Israel will never do it just because they'll be scared to bring people, Arab people, into Israel. This is what I think.
All right. Hey, listen, thank you for the call, though. I think you raised some great points, and hopefully people heard you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, we have another caller also, and I think the other caller wants to talk about Jordan. Caller, you're on the air. What's your first name?
My name is Ali, Ray.
Hi, Ali. Thank you for calling.
How are you?
Good.
I just want to say a couple of things, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Number one, I was raised in Sterling Heights, and Sterling Heights is not what you say, and it's just I think few people were taken advantage of, and the administration. I mean, I've been out of there for about 20 years, but I'm involved.
Tell us, you live there. Listen, tell us, Ali, you live there. What kind of community are the majority of Chaldeans like those that we saw on TV? And how do you feel about this mosque thing?
Right now, the majority are Chaldeans and new refugees that came, and they are in Sterling Heights. Matter of fact, a lot of people call it Little Baghdad. I mean, the majority, I would say quarter of Sterling Heights is all Chaldeans. But there are also Muslims, and I think what happened was wrong. They should have listed the city planning to decide if it's acceptable or not on the basis of the zoning, not that they used it differently. I am totally against it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have gotten up there, right, Ali, and started talking about Muslims and stuff. They should have focused just on traffic if they wanted, although I don't believe. You've been there, right? You know that intersection where they're talking. Isn't it busy?
I lived on 15 miles. I live in that area over there. It is busy, but I think the zoning board should have made that decision alone. And I think, I'll be honest with you, many of those people probably were used by the minority, and they just got carried away.
Whites, they don't. Do you think white people like you? Do you think if they hear you and me talk, you think they tell the difference between us? They think we're all Muslim Americans in this country, the majority. They hate us. They attack the Sikh
I'll be honest with you, I worked in the auto industry and management and all that, and I really, I don't know, I did not feel, yes, you find discrimination everywhere with everybody. It's a common thing, but you've got to work around it and show them that who you are and what you're capable of. And most of the time they respect you for who you are.
And you said you're Chaldean. It's good to hear a voice like yours.
I'm not Chaldean. I'm Jordanian.
You're Jordanian. Okay. Now let me ask you then about the Israelis are going to build a wall on along the Jordanian border. And do you think the Jordanian? I know how Jordanians are. I'm Palestinian. Half my family lives in Jordan. I know they're fierce in defending the Hashemite, kingdom and King Abdullah II. And I don't mean anything personal, but I got to say that the way the Jordanians have acted in the face of Israel makes me feel like, wow, we're so weak. Do you agree with that or disagree? What do you think, Alex?
I disagree with you.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I was in Jordan at the Expatriate Conference just last month, and I've been in this country over 45 years. I came in, I was 15 years old. Jordan suffered more than any other country, and Jordan opened its borders to everybody. The Palestinians, you know that, always.
Yes, one of my relatives is a senator in Jordan, Dawood. Yeah, absolutely. I know Jordan has done a lot for the Palestinians, but do you think they just kind of rolled over, though, when Israel started beating up?
Let me explain something.
Go ahead.
The Iraqis, we have over 1.5 million Iraqis in Jordan. We have over 1 million, these are facts, over 1.25 million Syrians in there. Almost quarter of the population of Jordan are between Iraqis and Syrians, and the other quarter, or 40%, are Palestinians. Yeah. Jordan had to support that. Jordan needed help, and all the Gulf states in Saudi Arabia, they are good in going and
they don't do enough, in other words.
They don't do enough, and then they do not deliver. They
You know
go
what?
out and say we're going to give $1 billion, and they end up giving $500 million. So
You know it's really a shame, Ali. 30 years ago, because I've been involved in the Arab community as an activist now since the 1970s. I served during the Vietnam War for 2 years, and there's a lot of Arabs. I'm very proud of all the American Arabs who are veterans and who defended this country. A lot of Jordanians, a lot of Palestinians, a lot of Egyptians, a lot of Syrians, a lot of Lebanese. But you know what? 30 years ago, we were a much closer community. We worked together. We supported. We were more unified as Arabs. Now we're divided. Some of us are Muslim. Some of us, we're now individuals as Palestinians and Jordanians. What happened to the Arabs?
I don't know what happened. I remember in my younger days when I was 18, 20 years old, a priest by the name of Father John Bedin was more of a leader here in Detroit. He would work with Imam Sherry from the Shia, Imam Kharouf, the Malachite, the Maronite, the Chaldean. He was almost born here, and he was more of a speaker of the Arab American and the American system for everybody. And they all work together. I mean,
that's before, right?
Now,
now.
Yeah, now I agree with you. Now it's really sad that they are so divided, and I think they bring in the whole country politics into this country.
Yeah, I think a lot of us live here physically, but mentally we're still back home, right?
I agree with you, the majority of people. I think we need to do more. I think we need to put our differences aside. There is more important issues, like right now what's happening to the Syrian refugees.
Yeah.
We shouldn't worry about little things, about building a mosque or somebody, different stuff. We should be all fighting together to help the Syrian refugees, the Iraqi refugees. Let's not forget those. They suffered a lot. I served in Iraq. I know how it is. They suffered a lot.
And
so
thank you for serving. Listen, Ali, I want to thank you for your call. I wish the Arab community would learn how to, when we disagree, as you and I, we disagree a little bit, but the truth is that when we identify the disagreement, we can improve and figure out what's the best way to do things. So we need to have more discussions like this so that I can understand more about the Jordanian perspective and others can understand more about Palestinians. We need to listen to each other, and I listen to you, and I really appreciate it, okay?
I appreciate you. Thank you very much, sir.
No problem, Ali. We're going to take one more quick call on line 3. Let's bring him up, and I know that he disagrees with me a lot. Give me your first name, caller, and let's talk about some of the issues, and then we got to take a break. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
He actually just fell off, Ray.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Sorry about
Adam, you want to disagree with me? I'm just joking.
No.
Our number is 248-557-3300. I would never not put somebody on the air just because I disagree with them, and that's okay because I think we need to have these discussions. We're going to take our last break here at the Arab Daily News Radio Show, and when we come back, we'll take more phone calls at 248-557-3300. We're talking about everything. The 14th anniversary of September 11th is today. What's the world doing to help Syrian refugees? Are the Gulf states doing enough? The West, is the Arab world doing enough? Seems like they are, but Israel says they're not going to take any and they're going to build a wall along the Jordanian border. I don't know. I'm just disappointed to see crazy hate in the images coming out of Sterling Heights. They're now they call it Little Baghdad, but sometimes people are calling Sterling Heights Sterling Hates now. That's the nickname they have because of the hate we saw on TV, and it's sad. And I just finished watching the TV series on FX Tyrant. That's where the war is. We are fighting among ourselves. But the truth is, the Americans around us are beating us up on TV. We're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
Jumana K-Ruz. You've seen her images on giant billboards across the metro. Jumana K-Ruz. You've seen her images on buses across the city. Now get to know Jumana K-Ruz.
Most people who sit in my office across from my desk are hurting on so many levels. One thing people do not know about medical malpractice is that the statute of limitation, meaning the time that you have to bring suit against a doctor, a hospital, is 2 years. In medical malpractice, that's a very, very short period of time. Not every lawyer is an advocate, but every lawyer should be an advocate.
Let Jumana Keyrus protect your rights. Call the law offices of Jumana Keyrus at 1-866-YOUR-RIGHTS, extension 100, or visit yourrights.com.
قشات ميديترينيان ماركت بإدارة سهر قشات وأولاده يرحبون بالجالية العربية والكلدانية. جميع أنواع المواد الغذائية، ألبان طازجة، الكرزات والبهارات الطازجة. داخل الأسواق مطعم ميديترينيان شيش كباب يقدم يوميا جميع أنواع الكباب، المقبلات العربية العراقية وصواني الكامبو المميزة. تفتح الأسواق من 8 إلى 9 مساء من الاثنين وحتى السبت، ومن 8 صباحا إلى 9 مساء يوم الأحد. تقع الأسواق على 32839 نورث ويسترن هايوي في مدينة فارمينغتون هيلز. لحوم حلال للجالية الإسلامية. لطلباتكم من المطعم كول 248-538-7855. That is 248-538-7855. قشة ميديترينيان ماركت، خدمة متميزة ومعاملة راقية.
Ziyad brand. Quality product. Our family to yours. Ziyad Brothers Importing offers the finest quality products, including brands like Sultan, Kraft, Nestle, Hook, Rico Picon, Donna, and many more. Ask your retailer to carry these fine products because you deserve the very best. For more information, visit our website at www.ziyad.com. That's www.ziyad.com. Ziyad, quality products from our family to yours.
And welcome back to the Arab Daily News radio show. I'm Ray Hanania. It is September 11th, and we're in our last segment. We end in about 13 minutes, so we don't have a lot of time. So I'm going to go right to the phone lines at 248-557-3300. A lot of people want to talk, so let me get out of the way and let our callers tell us what they think. So let's go to line 1. Line 1, can you hear me? And what's your first name?
It's Osama.
Hi. Oh, hey, Osama. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Thanks for calling back.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call. Two things. I'll be really, really quick.
Go ahead.
Right now, as the Arab community and the Chaldean community, no exception, we look for things to hate. I mean, that's our goal. Honest to God, that's how I feel.
It's about everything. It's not just Chaldeans. It's all of us, right? We all do that.
I'm telling you, no. I'm not, I said Muslim, Chaldean, the whole Arab.
Yeah,
and Chaldean
I agree
community.
with you. I agree with you.
I mean, we're always looking for something to hate. If we don't hate, we're not gonna live. That's the attitude.
Emotion. It's emotion. That's our plague as Arabs.
Exactly. Another thing is about you hit it right on the nail. 30 years ago, I came to this country. I was hired by a Syrian who'd been here for a long time in a restaurant. He was married to an Iranian Christian.
Wow.
She always identified herself with the Chaldeans, and I think there's some relation there, but I'm not sure. But anyways, my point is, they took me in, and they treated me like a son.
Yeah.
You know, if I needed clothes, they buy me clothes. If I needed this, whatever it is. I worked with them for 9 years, Ray, and I still have great memories.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can mention names, but I'm really indebted to them because they made me feel like home. They never see me like I'm a Muslim, and they respected me. I respected them.
We used to drive to Detroit 50 years ago when I was a kid, and it was one community. It was all Arabs. We weren't Muslim. We weren't Christian. We weren't Chaldean. We weren't Shiite. We weren't Sunni. We were Arab, and we treated each other. I never could tell the difference between a Muslim and a Christian, or a non-Arab Christian in the Middle East like Chaldeans. We were all the same. Today, it's like they have a Muslim organization, they have a Chaldean organization, they have Palestinian organizations, they have Jordanians. We don't get together anymore. Meanwhile, we're separate, but the world around us looks at us and sees one. They hate us. Doesn't matter whether you're Chaldean, doesn't matter whether you're Muslim, doesn't matter whether you're Christian. The majority of Americans in this country hate us, and they would just as soon beat up a Muslim as they would a Chaldean because we're all Arab, and they dislike us. And yet, we're the ones that bring in the division.
Absolutely. The ironic thing, I just want to finish up my little story here.
Go ahead.
Another Lebanese came and worked with us, and he was Jersey. Okay?
Right.
And we were like brothers. He found me an apartment. In the apartment that I lived in, and I can tell you on Warren and Miller, on top of the Amir restaurant, it was me, Muslim Sunni. There was another Christian Maronite that we lived together. And we had a lot of Shia brothers. They used to come every Friday and we play cards or we hang around. Religion came up, but it was never like a heated discussion. We exchanged information, right? And then we ended up at the end of the night with, you have your religion, I have my religion, we're fine. And then we'll meet again the next Friday or next Thursday, and we'll do the same thing over.
All right.
Listen,
Osama, I got to let you go because we got so little time, but thank you for being responsible. You make me proud when I hear voices like yours, like Ali's. We could have little disagreements, but I think we all agree on the right thing. We should do the right thing as one people, as Arab. We should stand together, don't you think?
Absolutely.
All right.
Stop the branding.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ali. Let's go back to the next phone line at 248-557-3300, line 2. You're on the air here at the Arab Daily News radio show. What's your first name?
My name is Ellen.
Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
I always, every morning, I listen to the station when I'm going to work. And I was listening today, and you were saying about Arabic. We used to agree now. We agree in Arabic still, but on one thing, we're disagreeing.
You think we're together, but we're just disagreeing on one issue.
The thing about it, we got too many Arabic countries.
Yeah.
They are rich. They still have the money, but they don't help.
They don't help us. They've left us alone. They've abandoned us. But do you know? And now I don't need to ask what your background is, but how do you feel about September 11th? Do you think we learned anything? And also, how do you feel about the Sterling Heights Mosque?
I don't live in Sterling Heights. I live in Troy.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see it, Arabics are okay with each other. And you were saying Americans hate us. Some of Americans, they hate us because some of us, they did lots of bad things. They make them hate us.
Yes. I believe we're partially responsible. You're right.
And we are, not just Arabic, Chaldean, Muslim, all this, but also Chaldean by themselves. They are, like I meet a friend, I say, I'm Chaldean. She says, from which town are you? Are you from Tel Aviv? Are you from El Fosh? Why?
Yeah.
Why? What you want from me? Are you going to give me my
30 years ago, I had friends there. Badia was her name, and we used to visit her all the time. Nobody cared where we were from. We were Arab. We would say hi to everybody. Nobody looked at me and said, "What are you?" The only people that said, "What are you?" are the Americans. Listen, it's so nice.
I came to the United States 50 years ago. I lived all my life here. But the thing about it, we used to be all one family. We used to live in Highland Park. Now also, our people, the Arabic people, I live with the Bloomfield. I don't care about who lives in Detroit or who lives in Detroit or what's the problem. We are family.
All right. Listen, thank you. First of all, thank you for listening to the show. And we need more discussions. The world needs to hear voices like yours. Moderate, smart, and intelligent. Thank you for being that way. I appreciate it. All right, let's go to our final caller on line 3 because I'll tell you, we're right up against the line. We only got 5 minutes left. What's your first name, caller?
Hello.
Hey, Marhaba, what's your first name?
Oh, are you talking to me? My name is Zuhair.
Hey, Zuhair, how are you? Thank you for hanging on there. Go ahead. Zuhair.
You know what? I got just one point. I am Chaldean. I'm a Christian. I live in Sterling Heights. We have at all no problem with Muslim from Iraq. We are all one. They are all educated. We understand each other. But the problem is when they going to build a mosque, very good. They're going to come Muslim from all the country. Even they never read Quran. They don't know what's in it. From Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from all the world. This is the problem. The problem is not with Muslim from Iraq or Lebanon because they are educated. They live all their life with the Christian. They understand each other. They love each other. We don't care really. As a Christian and Catholic, and Chaldean. We don't care if we live with Muslim in same house. We used to live in same house.
Yeah.
So this is the problem, my friend. The Sterling Heights, it's not hate really, but the problem is they are thinking about the Muslim from all over the war they're going to come, and those people, they are very not educated about Muslim people.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing about Quran. They don't know nothing about Muhammad.
I
They
think
are
I
just
agree
Muslim,
in this,
you know.
I agree in this sense. I think the Muslim leadership sometimes doesn't do enough to recognize the rights of non-Muslim Arabs and non-Muslims from the Middle East. I think Chaldeans have a grievance with the Muslim leadership and these Muslim organizations. They don't care about us as Christians. I get that. But still, it made me feel bad to see Chaldeans up there and, it just seemed like it was hate against Muslims, and that made me feel
really,
bad.
it's not a hate. It's just a problem. They wanna make sure they don't. Why they don't build it like 4 or 5 miles from away? Because we, you know what? As a Chaldean, really, we love Hussein. You believe it or not. We cry for him when we go to.
He was a bad guy, though.
Story.
He was a bad.
I mean, I don't
I know. But listen, we get used to. We never have a choice of who's good. We only have a choice of who's better. Listen, thank you for calling.
Okay, thank you very much.
I appreciate
Anyway.
it. That was very nice. Our last call, we can slip in one more here on line 1. Go ahead, caller. You're our last caller as we end the show. Go ahead, caller. What's your first name?
My name is Tony.
Tony, thank you for calling and waiting.
Hi, how you doing? I appreciate your
No,
sharing
of course.
this
Thank
with
you.
us.
So what do you think?
I just want to send a message.
Yes.
To their Imam, he thinks this is a fight. No, we do not fight. Christians don't know how to fight. This is the love they shared with us, if he understands what I mean. This is the love they shared with us. God taught us better than this. If you don't like us, we don't like you. That's how I feel. I know I'm going against my God, but
do you think the Muslim community was wrong to not talk with the Chaldeans first before they built the mosque, and do you think the Chaldeans overreacted?
Heart of our Chaldean, in the middle, they call us pigs and all that names. Come on, and you come in the middle of us. I don't understand this.
So you think that the Muslim community wasn't respecting the Chaldeans?
Fix yourself, alterate Quran, and then we welcome you back. If you love us, we love you. If you don't, then you know what? Go far away. You don't love us. Why you come near us?
So, Harry, listen, we've got less than a minute left. I want to thank you for taking the time to call. I'm sorry I don't have more time to let you talk because I think your views are important and I appreciate them. Thank you, Zohair. All right, listen, I just want to thank everybody for calling and listening. A lot of callers today. We really appreciate it. This is the Arab Daily News radio show. I'll have a podcast up if you visit the ArabDailyNews.com, the ArabDailyNews.com. I'll have the podcast there. You'll be able to download it and listen to the show. I want to thank Layla El-Husseini, Radio Bellady, Adam on the board, and everybody at WNZK, everybody in the listening audience in Detroit, Christian, Muslim, Chaldean, I don't care. I'm Arab, I'm proud, and I know you are too, and all the people out in Washington, D.C. on 700 AM. You have a great week. We'll talk to you next month, the second Friday of every month. I'm on radio here. Have a great month. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.